Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Big surprise. Top of the morning. Sony releasing brand new Spider-Man pics, brand new Spider-Man suit, brand new day teaser. So if by some chance you've been in a cave for the last 12 hours, Spider-Man Brand New Day is about to start filming, or really technically they're filming right now as of me posting this video because it's taken a couple hours. But that's why Sony released this brand new teaser, literally saying something brand new is coming. Hashtag Spider-Man Brand New Day, because they're about to reveal an official look at the brand new Spider-Man suit for his upcoming trilogy, or at least in Spider-Man Brand New Day. He'll probably get a new suit in every single movie. That's kind of the way things go in Spider-Man Marvel movies. He gets a new suit every single time. Even Herbie here asking for a new suit in the next Fantastic Four movie. There's a lot to unpack from this little teaser here. Even though it doesn't seem like they're revealing a lot, they are actually revealing quite a bit, confirming a couple big details, and there's some big Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man deep cuts in this too, baked into the actual new suit. While Sony is busy doing this, like official teasers, there's also a lot of other teasers on the actual set in Glasgow where they're filming this scene. The reason why they're releasing this is because they're about to do Spider-Man scenes outdoors. So Sony and Marvel want to get ahead of all the paparazzi, potato quality pictures and release official shiny HD looking pictures so it looks way, way better. I'll explain what's going on in some of these scenes, like you see tanks driving by here too, with what look like inner demons symbols on them, seemingly confirming that Mr. Negative is going to be one of the big villains in the movie, confirming some of the Hulk theories that people have, like why would Spider-Man be fighting the Hulk during this movie if they've been friends since all the Avengers movies? There have been many different kinds of theories about what's going on with the Hulk during this movie. They did confirm that Mark Ruffalo is coming back as the Hulk during this, but with a couple surprises. While they were releasing this teaser, Sony also wiped their Instagram page and like all their social media, so they're getting ready for another big reveal, probably a much bigger actual teaser in the next couple of days. I don't know if it's coming later tonight or if it's coming tomorrow. Whenever they do release it, of course I will do another video about it.
Oh my God.
Just starting with the real big thing here, talking about the suit itself, like that's what the actual teaser is for, technically. If you look at it, you can actually see probably the most standout detail, in addition to it being cloth-based, like we saw at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, it has the raised webbing, just like Andrew Garfield's amazing Spider-Man suit. The only thing that they're very careful to not totally show you is what the actual new version of the symbol looks like, and this is actually what the concept art was supposed to look like from the suit at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. The entire new version of this suit was meant to be inspired by his time with both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, so it was meant to contain elements of both of their suits, but obviously he has since made another new suit because this suit that you see at the end of No Way Home does not have the raised webbing on it. So for all the longtime Spider-Man fans out there that have been waiting for an actual Spider-Man movie where he makes his own suit and it looks more like the comics, like much more accurate to the comics, we are finally getting that in this movie. Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal over at Sony also said like one of the big things in this movie is basically taking him back to ground level. And Kevin Feige just did that big Marvel Phase 7 panel where he talked about the future of Marvel after their big soft reboot at the end of Secret Wars. I've done a much bigger video about that, but as part of that, he also talked about Spider-Man Brand New Day and how they were going to make it more of a ground-level movie with a little bit of multiverse stuff going on in the background, but for the most part, still a ground-level Spider-Man movie, a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man movie. And a big part of that was just showing Spider-Man trying to save his neighborhood, just helping people around town, like you would in a traditional ground-level Spider-Man story. Since the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, he has just been ground level, trying to help everyone 24/7, and a big part of his time has been sublimating the Peter Parker part of his personality. That's essentially what he gave up. According to Amy Pascal, the movie's supposed to reckon with that. Like, he basically buried the Peter Parker part of himself deep inside his mind. All he's been thinking about 24/7 is just being Spider-Man all the time. She and Kevin Feige are just implying that that's been taking a toll on him, like he needs his friends eventually, like it'll come to a breaking point. Kevin Feige also confirmed that John Bernthal's Punisher is going to appear in the movie, and he and Spider-Man will team up supposedly against a version of Bruce Banner's Hulk. So a lot of questions are, why would Spider-Man and the Punisher team up against the Hulk? What is the Hulk doing to cause all these problems? And it seems like the brand new twist, like the brand new thing, brand new day, make all the puns you want to, that they haven't done in previous movies, is they might be doing something more akin to Grey Hulk from the comics. The much more chatty Joe Fixit version of Hulk, who is not a nice person. I don't know exactly how that's going to express during the movie, like what it'll actually look like, because they always do change the comics quite a bit. But early on, a lot of people theorized that it might have something to do with Mr. Negative using his powers to basically change the Hulk's alignment and turn him into a version of Grey Hulk from the comics.
A Grey Hulk?
Marvel and Sony said nothing about Mr. Negative actually being in the movie, like there weren't any teasers about Mr. Negative until this morning when they released this official suit teaser, and we started seeing the pictures of the tanks in the street, which is supposed to be the New York City streets in the lower side. Spider-Man's supposed to be saving people. It's supposed to be a big action scene that they're filming. And on the tanks, there's the symbol that looks like it's the symbol of Mr. Negative's army, the Inner Demons. So a lot of the theories are starting to line up now, like, oh, maybe Mr. Negative is behind this big Hulk twist, and that's why Spider-Man and the Punisher have to team up to stop him. As far as I know, they haven't revealed who's actually playing Mr. Negative in the movie. The other big mystery casting is Sadie Sink's character. There are a lot of theories that she might be a version of Mayday Parker, Tobey Maguire's daughter from his universe, and that's where some of the multiverse elements get mixed in, because this is now meant to be the last movie before Avengers Doomsday. So even though it's largely meant to be a ground-level movie with like a tiny little bit of multiverse stuff in the background maybe, what'll probably wind up happening is that they'll use the very end of the movie, like the last 2 seconds or the post-credit scene, to have a really big, like the biggest Avengers Doomsday teaser. Really good example of that is the Fantastic Four movie that just came out, largely just takes place in their universe, the 828 universe. There's a couple teasers in the background where they lay some seeds like, oh, the existence of parallel dimensions, like, oh, they're talking about Avengers Doomsday stuff, they're setting it up. Then we got to the actual post-credit scenes. They have an actual Avengers Doomsday scene with Doctor Doom. Just expect more of those kinds of things going on during Spider-Man Brand New Day. One of the other big things that got teased recently, completely separate from this, unofficial, I think it was unofficial, sometimes some of the stuff they leak is on purpose, like they use Tom Holland's Spoiler Bros status on purpose now for actual marketing. He doesn't actually spoil stuff so much. Kevin Feige said that Destin Daniel Cretton, the director, who also directed the Shang-Chi movie, he was going to direct Avengers Kang Dynasty when it was still Kang Dynasty 2. He said that director is trying to recreate several iconic Spider-Man comic book covers from various comics. During a recent consumer products meeting, his assistant actually, maybe accidentally, maybe on purpose, posted this picture from inside the director's office with some of those comic book covers plastered up on the wall. We got to look at least 2 of them. And remember, he's just trying to create these comic book poses. The actual comic books that he's taking these poses from don't necessarily mean that what's happening in the movie has anything to do with the plots of those stories. But the first one is Peter Parker, The Spectacular Spider-Man, issue number 1 from December 1st. It was a relatively short-lived series inside the Spider-Man comic book titles, but on the cover, he's fighting Tarantula while making this iconic comic book pose the director wants to recreate. Not the fact that he's fighting the villain Tarantula, so it's not a teaser for Tarantula being in the movie necessarily, but he's on the campus of Empire State University, and he might be going to Empire State University during this new Spider-Man trilogy. One of the other visible comic book covers here is Amazing Spider-Man number 345. This is from the Todd McFarlane era. You can always tell his art style. It's very iconic. But most comic book fans will remember this issue because it was the one where the Venom symbiote rescued Eddie Brock from prison, spawning, leaving a piece of itself behind that then bonded with his cellmate, who was Cletus Cassidy, and the offspring of the Venom symbiote wound up being Carnage, leading to the eventual Maximum Carnage comic book arc. This will also remind you that there is the piece of the Venom symbiote that they left at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, even though the events of Venom The Last Dance, that last Tom Hardy movie, were very confusing with how the continuity was supposed to work. Like, is Sony trying to say that they picked up the piece of the Venom symbiote in the Venom universe, but the piece of the Venom symbiote inside the MCU is still there and will eventually find its way to Tom Holland? Sony likes to be really confusing like that. You can definitely tell there's like 5 different teams at Sony, and none of them communicate with each other about what they're doing during all their different spin-off movies. This is what happens when you're disorganized like that. Sony problems notwithstanding, they already did that Carnage plot during the Venom solo movies with Tom Hardy and Woody Harrelson's version of the character in Venom Let There Be Carnage. So you have to remember that really the important thing here is just Spider-Man's pose on the cover being the reference. There are several other comic book poses that he's trying to recreate, several other covers that are just out of the frame here in the picture that they posted.
That was a tough secret to sit on. because I have a reputation for ruining things.
What'll probably happen, though, is just because Sony does seem like it's clearing a lot of its social media pages for a much bigger teaser in the next couple of days. We will see when they actually release that. When they do, I will do another video about this. But just expect a bunch of footage to be coming out from Spider-Man related stuff because they're getting ready to film outdoors with what seems like the new version of Tom Holland in his suit with the Punisher in a really, really big action scene. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below, all your theories. If there's any Easter eggs or references that you spotted in these teasers or any questions you have about what's going on, just leave them in the comments below and I'll add them to my future bonus videos the next couple of days. What a time to be alive. Doesn't this remind you of the hype around Spider-Man No Way Home? It was a special, special time. Also because that was in the middle of like core pandemic era, so it was just really, really weird when that was all going on. Loving all the breadcrumbs that Sony and Marvel are leaving us for this. A lot of you also asking about Fantastic Four Team Up 2 with Spider-Man. The actor who plays Johnny Storm was also talking about teaming up with Spider-Man once they come to the MCU post-reboot, but they probably will meet during Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. I just did a whole bunch of Fantastic Four videos. Click here for my alternate ending, deleted scenes, and more Avengers Doomsday teasers, and click here for that brand new Avengers Doomsday Comic-Con teaser that Robert Downey Jr. released. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.